All right, friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Our YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, but in these episodes here, we are dedicated to looters. We have relocated in the north. We've taken some of our elite troops and deposited some of our weaker troops, our looter-type troops and bandits, into a few castles and cities up here. Well, just one city and two castles for the purpose of having more looter battles. Now, of course, I want to show you some of our companions. We do have elite companions. We've got 5 companions with myself, but we're all wearing rags because we're role-playing that we're kind of like the Peasants' Revolt, that we're with these looters, right? This is the most ferocious looter band Calradia has ever seen. I've got prisoners I can potentially upgrade and, of course, or promote, and that's part of the way we've been getting these. That's part of the way we've been getting more looters here. But basically, I'm running around looking for battles here, right? We have 236 units. We do have, obviously, some non-looters. We have some Bedouin rovers and whatnot, but we're not going to be using any real troops in this episode. Whoa, that's the Sturgian Queen. I think that's the Sturgian Queen, yeah. And she's heading into Mazadon Castle to besiege. So we could try it. No, we can't. That's an incredibly powerful army. 33 elite cataphract. 204 cavalry. That's a non-starter for us. So I know some of you guys are out there like, do it, man. Give it a shot. But we have to be realistic here. We have looters. We have brigands. One of these armies, actually, this guy's beelining me. Okay, so she's sieging, so I don't think she'll be involved. I guess we can give these 3 Sturgian forces a try here. I don't really want to save scum. I haven't needed to save scum yet. Save scum, it's such a bad word, right? I haven't reloaded a save game yet. We're just sort of tooling around with this army. Let's do some upgrades here. I don't want to lose this battle, of course. Now, I'm not going to upgrade to real troops, so anything like this, Harami, that's like a real troop. We're not going to do real troop lines, but we will take these forest bandits, right? They're starting to become a crux of our army. We do have some Bedouin rovers that upgrade to this extremely low-level infantry, and we have this random Vlandian peasant that I think we recruited. He was a prisoner, I think. And we'll pick up a few of these prisoners as well. We don't want to damage our morale too poorly, as we already have looters. And let's see what these forces look like here. Now, of course, we are doing tactics in this series. This isn't just La La Land running around with a bunch of looters, although obviously you're somewhat limited with looters. That said, you're not completely limited, right? These guys will throw these little rocks. To me, they look like petrified turds or like a really bad big chicken nugget. And, you can kite a little bit with these guys, too. Because they're so lightly armored, they move pretty well. Despite low athleticism, these guys have never been to the gym. All their athleticism comes from running, right? You guys have been chasing them around. These poor persecuted looters are now under command of a highly experienced war veteran. And we're going to see what we can do here in this series. This is going to be fun. For sure, you should take this as fun. We're not trying to conquer the whole map here. We are going to do some tactics. Undoubtedly, these tactics will be something that some of you guys can make of use. In fact, in this episode here, this looks like a perfect, or at least this battle, this looks like a perfect opportunity for both a kill box and a reverse slope client defense. See that slope? They have to come over that. We've got enough archers here to at least apply some pressure to them. And then once they get over that, of course, we will try to enact a kill box. Now, I didn't look very closely at their unit makeup. I don't know how many infantry they have, etc. But it's Sturgia, right? They almost always have lots and lots of infantry, heavy cav, and then a sprinkling of archers. So I've got these 2 infantry divisions. I'd like to split them up a little bit more. It's basically, we don't have any true infantry divisions, right? We have looters. We have guys that'll throw rocks. Now, we do have a few of these brigands. We're starting to recruit more. I've got some prisoners that I'm recruiting. And in some of our castle and city locations up here, I put a bunch of different looters and bandits and stuff like that from the campaign. I basically gathered up all of our looters, put them into a couple castles. That way, if I want more troops, we can get them, right? So we're starting with this motley group of 200 and some, and we're going to do some tactics here. Let's see what we can do. We've got 3 divisions, essentially, of archers / skirmishers, and the looters are somewhat skirmishers, right? They will throw rocks. I don't actually know how many rocks they get. Seems like they get a lot. And I've actually picked up these rocks and chucked them at the enemy, and it does okay. Like, you can do 10, 15, 20 damage to a guy throwing rocks. Now, Zuvan has his throwing knives here, right? We're going without his javelins. I just figured it would be totally overpowered. He, of course, has 300 and something throwing skill, right? And he's 330 two-handed. But with his very weak armor, you won't see me just completely waiting in every single battle. Just every other battle, right? We're still going to wait in here. I got to play offensively to help these peasants out, including hitting them with throwing daggers. But that was a looter that talked shit to me in our first battle, so he catches one in the spleen. All right, so here comes the enemy force. Let's start kiting back, and we'll also put squares up for these cav divisions. It's very difficult to kite and perform a kill box when you have this many cavalry, but I'm going to try to do it, right? A lot of guys say, well, you can't do that against heavy cav. I'm going to show you that you can, sort of. It's a little messier, of course, but I think we can pull something off here. So we're going to suffer losses. This is just inevitable, right? We literally have guys running around with rags, right? They have absolute rags. It's not going to be easy to do this, but I think if we exercise these tactics correctly, we can cause mass devastation to the enemy here. So I'm hiding that division over there, getting them out of the way of the cavalry. Gonna start spreading our archers out. Right, you see they do. They have a huge infantry block, so I've got this cav, and all I'm doing with our cav now is sort of baiting the enemy, right? I sort of want them haplessly chasing our cavalry around when, of course, they have no intention of attacking them. I'm just dragging these guys through. And indeed, the enemy has already run themselves into a quasi-kill box here. I don't know if you can see it, but I now have 3 archer divisions, 2 on one side and 1 on the other, and I can just continue to spread these units out. We have looter divisions, the 1st and the 3rd division, right? What I can do essentially with these guys is get them close enough to throw their little rocks. They have a pitiful 8 archers on the ridge. We'll assign our cavalry just to stand guard on those guys, right? Basically looking at them. And now all we're going to do is kite, right? We're going to bring our looters here. In fact, these guys are in a particularly bad fishbowl. Oops, the 4th is getting a little close over there. A lot of people, of course, they saw like the RTS version of the channel, and I get an amazing amount of comments from people who are like, wow, you could never do that without the RTS mod. Well, this is your proof, right? This is something, of course, the regulars on the channel know that this is something that people can do. I'm sure some of you guys are doing this in your episodes, in your battles, right? It does take practice. We're going to maul these archers here with this cavalry. Might as well kill them, right? The infantry is of no threat, so we'll just pound their archers here, and then we'll completely have their infantry to ourselves. I might even get off my horse here, throw some throwing knives into them. You can see how bad a shape they're in. And here's the thing with this, right? Because they don't split their division, they can never get out of this death trap, right? This is a situation where if this was a human opponent and they didn't know how to split their units, they wouldn't be able to survive this either, because wherever they go, we're going to simply move back. Now, they're killing an occasional looter with a throwing weapon, right? They're hitting him with a throwing axe or something like that, but you could see how bad these guys are fucked. Now the looters come up. In fact, I'm going to join them here on foot. We're all going to throw rocks at them, and I don't even have to worry about it on foot, right? We just backpedal. I can have these guys move back a little bit. There's still a couple cavalry killing guys, but this infantry division in the middle here is absolutely dead meat. These guys are dead man walking, right? This is like one of those execution movies or whatever it is, right? Dead man walking. Let's see if these guys survive. So that square helped those looters there. I think they survived because of that square. You know, I'm just sort of playing with this infantry at this stage while our archers weaken them, right? We've got different archers just shooting and throwing javelins at them and stuff like that. And, of course, they can't catch me at all. No chance. These hapless guys are trying. They're really being whittled down at this stage. And now we can start to close in our death net here. Now we can apply some brute force to these fucks. I see their captain or whatever, Zooter, is still running around. In come our infantry divisions. Our cav comes through and knocks half of them to the ground. And now our looters get to kill these fucking Sturgian forces. Look at this guy, charge! He said charge and then got obliterated. That was fucking hilarious. And looters fucking absolutely win the day here, crush all the Battanian Fiend champs. And they fucking, I can hardly even narrate because I'm smiling so much. It's so pleasurable to see looters in slow motion killing all these proud Sturgian forces. It's fucking beautiful. And we're hugely successful, right? With this ragtag group of bandits. You can see half these guys are wearing fucking, it looks like a potato sack. It looks like they didn't have any money for clothes. So they went down to the store, turned a bag upside down, put it on, and, you know, cut some holes for the arms. Look at, there's his rock, or his turd. It's a petrified turd, fellas. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Look at this guy. Took an arrow in the neck, and he's just like, fuck yeah. You're crazy, man. There's an arrow in your neck, dude. You're crazy. I like you, man, but you're crazy. You're crazy. I mean, it's totally the scene from, what is that? The Hangover or some shit like that. Anyways, so we're going to continue. This is not nearly enough for this episode. I will sort of divide these up and spare you some of the small details, but we're going to rampage a little bit here, right? Now, admittedly, our force bandits got almost half the kills, right? So those guys are a major part of the army. I'm not saying you can literally kill huge armies with looters. That's not really a thing because they just don't do enough damage. But it's all bandits, and it's mostly looters, right? We have like 100 looters right now. And of course, the equipment is totally irrelevant. We're being chased, it looks like. We went to Calradia Castle and picked up some looters, some reinforcement looters, because we want to get back and defend Mazadon Castle. But we have raised the ire. This large looter force has raised the ire of Batanians and Valandians, and I'm running a little bit here to get healthy. I also don't want to get caught by other forces down there. I really want to go back to this castle that's under siege, Mazadon Castle, but obviously these guys have different ideas for us here. So we did pick up some troops. We're up to 49 force bandits, right? It's starting to become a pretty strong force. And just so that the Sturgian force doesn't engage in this battle as well, I think it actually makes sense for us to just fight here. Fight it out with these two forces. Hopefully they don't do too much damage here. We can do some more upgrades. And you see, I'm not going to upgrade. If it upgrades to a troop line, that's like a real troop line, we're not going to do that, right? We have another peasant from our garrison. So now we have two peasants that are sort of like ducks flying with a bunch of geese. Do I have anything to say? Yes, you can join our harem of women. They're all cooks for us. They tell us nice stories. That's all we ask for them, right there, fellas. That's the only thing we're asking from these prisoners. And these forces are pretty strong. This is definitely going to be interesting. Now the power bar, of course, says we have no chance. Oops, sorry, I won't waste your time. You get a little view of Zuvan's statistics. People express an interest to see what Zuvan, his character build. There you go. You can go back and pause if you'd like to. And into battle we go here. Okay, we know this battlefield quite well. I've fought many battles in this area, and this ridge is paramount in this episode, or in this battle. I keep saying episode. This is all going to be one episode. I will probably edit out some of my narration here and then splice these little files and battles together. So we've acquired a few more skirmishers here, right? I have a few more of these brigands. These brigands have like a low level. I mean, you guys have all been hit in the neck by a brigand. They throw these long javelins. So we're going to make a power division here. Zuvan, with his giant list of perks, he now has high-end troops, skirmishers, and archers, right? So that's a pretty nasty division, all things considered. The fourth is still pretty weak. Here's what I can do. What I can do is I can actually make the first and third all looters, completely worthless troops. And how you do that is you just sit low preference for low tiered troops, and now all of those guys are looters with afros and raggedy clothes and horrible beards that have never had lice pulled out of them. It's a ragtag group there. The 5th Corps is a pretty nice mix of archers, but there's infantry mixed in here. So, man, I gotta sneeze so bad. I've never had to sneeze during an episode. We're gonna try to continue on. Hopefully it doesn't happen like mid-swing and I get fucking killed. Alright, so 4th, 5th, and 6th are nice range units, including some skirmishers here. We now have the 1st and 3rd units are ragtag, complete ragtag looters. There's probably some looters in some of the other divisions just because we have a lot of looters. And then we have this 1 cav division. Sometimes I'll use 2 cav divisions, but not when I have this few cavalry. And of course, they're not really strong cavalry. They don't even have a shield. So you'll see me shield walling them, but it's mostly just to absorb the enemy cavalry. Here, the enemy has quite a few cavalry. But again, it looks like a lot of infantry and a fair bit of archers. Yeah, a lot of infantry. 324 infantry. 2 different cav lines, 30 each. So I've got to take care of those first. The enemy's aggressively charging up here. Once our archers establish some range on these troops, it's going to get a lot easier, right? The enemies, well, if they don't go into a shield wall, they're going to take major damage on the way in. This chick here. Fucking asshole. Get the fuck out of here. So you'll definitely see me aggressively killing skirmishing horse archers, right? Those are death for our poor looters. They have no shield. They have no armor. They have no warm clothes, right? These guys don't like to fight in winter. So I think it's fall is the season right now, so we're trying to get these battles over with before winter so these guys can retire to some huts, and hopefully the harem gives it up. Alright, so we're going to start kiting here as well. I'm going to start basically spreading out our archer divisions again. I will try to enumerate each move as I can, but obviously this is sort of high stress for me here. I've got this huge force of infantry boring in, and we have a lot of weak troops. Okay, they just started to back up. That's good. I've got a huge division of looters behind the enemy. I might even use that aggressively to sort of posture and scare them away, but they're throwing 1,000 javelins and throwing axes in here. That's a problem. These guys, obviously, a throwing axe, you know, maims these guys. And it's not like they had good medicine back then. Alright, so we're going to start to encircle this force. They're really boring in towards the center of our army. We just suffered some losses on a cavalry charge. That's inevitable. Let's get this 1st Division behind the enemy and menace them a little bit. The 4th and 5th are now stretched out on the enemy's flanks. And again, just like the previous battle, it's a very similar battle at this stage. There's a lot more death, right? We're losing a lot of looters. They've got guys shooting at our looters. They don't have shields. I do have a looter division moving in behind the enemy here, though. And this 6th Corps on this hill now. This is high-end troops, like I said before this battle started. It's sort of a high-end power division led by my main character with all of his perks. They're going to cause major damage. Skirmishers and archers. And of course, just like the previous battle, shit, they got a hold of some looters there. Oh no, that's probably just archers. I see a lot of archers spray killing our looters. Nothing I can do about that. I mean, I can put these handful of horses here just to absorb these arrows, but looters get killed by archers, right? This is just a problem. Now they're getting killed by archers too, right? If we're getting killed by archers, they're getting killed just as bad, right? We now have a looter division behind the enemy, kind of menacing them. The 1st Corps is moving up behind the other side of them, and again, just like the previous battle, we have managed to completely surround our foe. Again, we'll give their archers some light cavalry to kill. Don't tell those guys, but they are absolutely sacrificial here. Here's the real threat, right? The enemy has like 300 infantry, and we have to chip away at this before we attack it with looters. These guys have shields. In fact, every time they get close to our 6th Corps here, I get very nervous. These guys I need to wait until this division is injured before we engage, but the death is starting to happen, right? The enemy's being pounded. Their archers, for some reason, I don't know if they're out of ammo or something, trying to reposition. Maybe that cav freaked them out, but they're running around like a kid who lost their candy basket on Halloween, and they're frantic. All right, so the 1st Division can now be moved in. If those archers don't want to be a threat to our looters, these guys are happy to throw their petrified pieces of shit, right? This other looter division is on the other side of the enemy. The enemy's probably feeling terrified by this point, right? We're role-playing. These guys would be shitting themselves. They are being systematically and militarily surrounded by looters. This would be a terrible feeling. It would be that feeling you get when, like, an old grandma is walking at you like a zombie as fast as she can with no look on her face and is not responding. You would be certain she was a zombie, right? We would have a supernatural occurrence here. This enemy is completely surrounded, and just like the previous enemy, they are completely devoured here. All of these rocks have been expended. I think they might even rout off the battlefield. They're being pelted so bad. And of course, for sure, the forest bandits are doing a major number. When I look up at the death spam, every 3rd kill, or every other kill even, is a forest bandit. Well, we're not letting these guys get out of here. We're not about to just let these guys leave. What the fuck do they think this is? We're going to run these guys down. We're going to take these motherfuckers out. I'm going to fire some throwing swords into their coward-ass fucking running units here. and we're going to kill as many as we can. But 2 very successful kill boxes here with looters, and we're doing this, of course, again without the RTS channel. There are some guys who are, I don't know, they really do kind of make it sound like this is impossible, or they're incredulous. You can't do that, you must be cheating. And I just did it twice in plain sight for you. Jesus, that one hit did 100 on Zuvan with no armor. So I really got to protect Zuvan. Fortunately, he's still breathing. And I probably shouldn't have done this, but I wanted these looters to get some fucking blood. And they're getting some blood, all right. This is what happens when looters fight hand-to-hand against high-end troops. Retreat, huh? Yeah, well, you coward motherfucker. You can retreat, all right. Right into the graveyard. Motherfuckers. Fucking cowards. Kill our looters. I'm gonna chase down as many of these fucks as I can. Fucking cowards. So, there you go. There's 2 examples of kill boxes. It's pretty effective, of course. You know, we have like, what is it, 40? We have like 40-something forest bandits. That helps. Of course, this can be done even with tier 3 archers. Now, look at this fucking motley group, right? It wasn't just the forest bandits. Lots of brigands threw their javelin into a neck of a sturgeon force. There's all kinds of lower-level archers. What are they, bushwackers? And other very low-level troops. Sea Raiders were probably firing their axes in there and stuff like that. Eventually, we're going to get some Sea Raider chiefs, and this force is going to be kind of, an army to be reckoned with. That's going to be really interesting at that stage. In fact, I think this is not enough for this episode. Let's look for a little bit more carnage. Let's try to get back to that castle and defend. With this looter force. Now, we did lose a bunch of looters there, but I will be able to pick up quite a few more looters up at what is it, Varcheg. In fact, I think I'll show you some of this process here. We're looking for any looters here. We're going to try to take looters prisoner, or relieve their prisoners is more accurate, right? We will take looters prisoners of, like, if we capture a looter, or if there's a hideout. I've been doing those behind the scenes. Not going to bore you guys by showing you how to take out a hideout. Every single guy watching this pretty much knows how to do that. But that's another way we're acquiring some prisoners for this little side series here. And I gotta be honest, fellas, I fucking love this shit. I love running around with looters, right? We've got our companions are all on extended absence, right? They're all on leave. You military guys, these guys are all on extended family leave. We don't need them. We're just gonna rampage around Calradia with looters. Here we go. Look at this shit. 41 forest bandits. Let's take them all. That was a large sturgeon force there. Let's teach the Batanian or the Sturgeon Queen some manners here. 108 looters. Come with us, fellas. Although we'll have way too many. So here's what I can do. I can leave some of these guys here in this city, and we'll take the rest, right? We can take the healthy ones. We can let the injured guys, those proud looters, they can find a nice brothel and have a little rest on us, right? We'll leave them some bags and some coin and stuff like that, some new socks, and those guys can take a break. Meanwhile, we will take the rest of this force and go confront that sturgeon force sieging down there. So we have Bedouin rovers. We've got these 2 peasants. I love this shit. It's amazing. These guys keep surviving. Of course, it wants to upgrade them to recruits, but we're not going to do that, right? We're not going to have actual military units in our army here. We're going to have looters and brigands and other shit like that. And I actually want you to attack that guy. Usually we don't have minor clans. We just have a small minor clan here, but obviously I won't be using them for this episode. Let's take a look at this sturgeon force. This other castle's under siege here, right? So there's no shortage of targets when you have a small army. And actually our army's pretty good size now, 356. But that still looks like it outnumbers us. 400, 500. That's over 500 sturgeons, and who knows, more may join. The Sturgeon Queen is there. I keep wanting to call her the Batanian Queen, or Grand Princess, or whatever the fuck her name would be. We don't give a shit. We attack. Now, Yeah, I was concerned about this. So the militia wants to join us, and the garrison. I really don't want high-end troops in a battle, especially. I don't really want them at all. I wish I could fight them without the militia and the garrison. But I think I know what I can do. We will engage here, and what I can actually do is I can take the high-end units, separate them into a couple divisions, and make them retreat at the beginning of battle. Yeah, see, there's hardened crossbowmen or whatever those are. Those might even be sharpshooters. That's an elite hired crossbow. I see a few armored knights. There's some high-end infantry in here. All right, so let's see. I've got the 7th and 8th divisions. We're going to play a normal Peekaboo Ridge reverse slope decline here for sure, with lots of archers and lots of guys throwing petrified shit. But I don't want the advantage of having sharpshooters, right? We're going to do this strictly with freebooters and forest bandits and looters. So we'll make these two divisions, let's see, preference to high troops. This will just take a second. I apologize for this delay, but I want to do this. I want to do this little episode correctly. Yeah, see, I see a Valandian sergeant in there. No thanks, fellas. I see some Volgiers and stuff like that. You guys are dismissed. So we'll put them towards the back of the map, and we'll just have them retreat at the beginning of battle. Then let's see what our archers look like here, this 7th Corps. How many high-end archers, sharpshooters and whatnot? There, that's about right. We'll stick those guys at the back. And that seems about correct. Oh, they had some heavy horse too. I don't know how to do that. I don't have any other horse divisions to separate and have them retreat. So, how many are there? What is 2, 3 maybe? I'm tempted just to leave them. It doesn't really matter. None of you guys are going to like cry foul if we leave a couple knights in there. But here's what I'll do. We'll just get rid of all of our cavalry. We'll do this whole episode with no cavalry. Just Zuvan on a horse. Actually, I think Zelik will also be on a horse. We'll just dismiss our cavalry. So the 2nd, 7th, and 8th at the beginning of this battle, we'll just dismiss. And I don't think I missed any. I think the rest of this is our looter, bandit. I'll start calling them bandits or a robber army because I recognize that we don't have all looters. There's sea raiders now in here. There's bushwackers. I fucking love that name, whatever that means. Someone who's whacking in the bush. We've got some brigands and stuff like that. It's a great part of Bannerlord that you have these sort of scuzzy scum of the world troops that were, of course, very common in the medieval era, right? When there wasn't a lot of law enforcement, when you could literally just rob somebody and just run off into the countryside and sort of disappear. Crime flourished. That's why they had such barbarous penalties, right? Because they didn't know what to do about it other than to do shit like threaten people that they would draw and quarter you if you stole shit, right? They had all kinds of barbarous penalties that today we look at and we're like, Jesus Christ, those people were savage. But they had no method to stop people from murder, rape, and arson. Right? Today we have all kinds of cameras and DNA. It's very hard to get away with crime compared to back then. So we'll just stick Zelik here in the 6th. And I don't think I have to tell most of you what we're doing here, right? This is reverse slope decline. Now, we don't really have the full, the normal necessary methods of pulling this off. You need some cavalry. You preferably need some shock infantry to sort of meet the enemy at the ridge here. But I think we're going to try, and then we will adjust depending on what they do. I do have a small infantry division here in the 3rd, and then the 1st has some troops too. So they do have elite troops. I didn't really glance at their army. And I wasn't sure if they have elite troops, but there's no question that this is an elite Sturgian force. Lots of heavy horse, too. That's a major problem. Heavy horse are really hard to deal with when you have weak troops like this. The best thing I can really do is distract them with our square and hope that square keeps them busy. These guys over here could also be used in a shield wall and or square. Frankly, they're sacrificial. This is what infantry was for. The cannon fodder, we've all heard all the denigrated terms for it, but we're going to have to use them in this battle like that. We don't have any cavalry, right? And they have a massive amount of heavy cavalry, and it's going to be elite. Now I can stick a total sacrificial division up here. I can just put the 2nd division in a square. It says cavalry, but I assure you we have no cavalry other than the horse I'm riding and maybe Zelik. Yeah, look. Oh, you know what? I was going to say it looked like a horse archer. That is Zealot. That's his raggedy hat. That's why he looks like a horse archer. All right, here they come, and here comes our archery. Right, we'll slow-mo this shit occasionally. Although I don't know if I'm gonna fuck with this. I've done a lot of episodes where I've slow-moed the decline slope strategy. Plus, I'm getting like stabbed and shot here. I think we'll just play this legitimately. I don't think there's time for it. We'll see. If I get a moment where it's obvious that it's necessary. Actually, they have a ton of infantry, so this is not going to work like I wanted it to. They're obviously marching down very aggressively in shield wall and taking some losses, but we're going to have to kite. Holy fucking cavalry. All right, let's pull that unit back. Let's put the unit here in a square. Fuck me. Their infantry's boring straight in, so we're going to have to kite hard here. This is going to be a bitch. Let's get the 5th up on this wall here. Of course, it's giving me a difficult time trying to spread my units out. That's why I'm yelling forward like a fucking retard. Forward, forward, forward. I apologize if you know someone who's disabled. I just used that word quickly. I'm highly sympathetic to those who are disabled. All right. That disclaimer aside here, we're going to continue to kite. And just like the previous episode, you guys see what's going on here, right? This giant phalanx is just coming right into the core of our units, and we're just aggressively pre-kiting. Now, pre-kiting stands for kiting before the enemy gets you, anticipating their arrival and running before they get you. Because the moment you run back where they're already on you is fucking too late, right? They're doing major damage. They're cutting and slashing your guys that are trying to run, and the guys get cut down while they're trying to kite. We're pre-kiting here. I've got a unit on their side now, flanking the fuck out of them. And we'll lose a few of these guys here because I'm a touch late on this kiting. But most of these guys are going to make it out. And of course, they're in spread form too. So it's not like they got their grips on a bunch of our units. Now, the death spam is not particularly good, and that's because they have a huge amount of heavy cav here. So I'm going to do even more aggressive kiting. We'll probably kite to the very edge of the map. On top of that, they have high-end archers over there raking us. So we're going to get out of sight here. This is a little bit more advanced kiting, and I'm sacrificing this infantry division here. I'm trying to buy some time. I'm also letting our archers shoot them from behind. So these 30 or 40 looters here are just absolute... they're a sacrifice, right? They're buying us some time here. Our units gained a nice big distance to shoot. We have 2 units on one side and another one on the other. Heavy cav is pouring in here, and I'm really trying to deal with their heavy cav. If I could tell every archer, always target cavalry, I would do so. But generally, your units charge when you tell them to do that. I'm already down to a fraction with Suvan. I do have the RTS mod loaded, so we'll probably need that here, as it's an absolute swarm of heavy cav. It's a matter of time before he gets dropped. But we're still going to fight to the fucking death. A lot of my units are already out of arrows. That's not good. Now we charge here. But this infantry is now weakened. These guys, there's a handful of guys in there like Sea Raiders with shields. Those guys can get aggressive. They're getting raked from the side. Let's send this 6th in as well. These guys are swarmed over here. This 4th is just getting cut to ribbons. A few of them are fighting, but most of them are just getting cut down. I'm trying to be a little more cautious than I normally am. It's a very tight fight, though. I just can't help it. When it's a tight fight, you're just going to see me fighting. Fuck it. All right, let's get even more out of line of sight of their archers. In fact, there's a bit of a decline slope bridge over here we can use to completely nullify their archers. They don't have very many archers, but this is a really good way of just saying, fuck you guys. We're not even going to fight you guys. We're going to sit at the edge of the map here, come get some, and force them to play essentially our game. Now, their heavy cav is a major problem. It's just cutting our bushwackers down. Our Bedouin rovers are being cut down. Bedouin, I think is the pronunciation. But we have 2 strong divisions still, and they both have a good amount of ammo, right? These guys, forest bandits have 2 quivers, right? So they're capable of a lot of death. And I think bushwackers might have 2 quivers. There's a couple of these archer divisions that have 2. Now I see some of our infantry looking around like, what are we doing here? Why do we keep running? They want to run up with their shield and sword and get some action. But they're obviously secondary to our tactic here. try to make an infantry division for them, but this rarely works. And we're just going to put them in the middle here as a square to sort of slow down this heavy cav. They're making these side-to-side passes on us. I'm hoping this square basically kills their momentum. Once their momentum is killed, the infantry can kill them, and of course the archers will shoot them to pieces. It's a mix. There's some archers in there. It's not terrific. Let's pull them even further over this ridge. Look at this little bull. This is amazing. We're going to be able essentially to hide from all of their archers in here. Is this them? Oh, their archers are shit. I'm gonna get shot off my horse. How am I alive? I have like no health. I've had no health for like 5 minutes. This is where guys are like, these cheat codes. Yeah, well, not really, folks. We wouldn't be fighting with looters if we were so concerned about winning. We were using cheat codes. And fucking cavalry's coming back and just cycle charging here. Oh shit! You bastard! I can do what I can, but I'm really limited here. Now, our archers are in beautiful position. If their cavalry come over that ridge, they're going to get shot to pieces. We've got one infantry division we can kind of bring up here. These guys are fucking routing. These guys just routed. Unreal. I see you coming, motherfucker. Their whole force just routed. That's how bad we whipped this Sturgian force. Just systematically, you fucker, systematically routed us. See, he's mortal. Now, look at this guy. This is funny. This is going to look like a cheat code, too. He has, like, no armor on, and he has a 30% speed banner bonus. Look at that shit. I swear this is not sped up. That's his normal speed. That's 330 athleticism with, like, very light armor, no shield, and a 30% speed bonus. It looks hilarious. I mean, Usain Bolt, eat your heart out, right? He looks like he's on crack. And you can see all the other units are in normal speed. This guy's just totally cracked out. I barely need a horse. He's just like, I'll fucking fight him. Alright, we'll try to cut this guy down here. I want this guy, if you're wondering what the fuck I'm doing, wasting your time, I apologize. This whole series might seem like a waste of time to some purists. I want to dismount this fuck here. I want the looters to beat this guy to death, and I can't do that, of course, while he's riding around on his horse. So if you want to skip this, just, use that little YouTube bar and go like a minute or two ahead. I'm sure it'll be past this stage and you can get all your frustrations out on that bag of chips next to you. Just tear into that. Your stress and your serotonin or whatever the fuck will go up, and you won't be angry at the fact that I'm trying to mow this guy down with bandits. Fucking asshole. He's kicking my ass. Get off your horse, noble. There we go. This guy almost killed 2 of my companions. Come on, boys. Get over here. These guys are going to get their frustration out. It's time for fucking another run the gauntlet here. This guy fucking kills Zuvan. Well, hopefully he didn't kill him, but he knocks Zuvan off his horse. Kill him, boys. Fucking get the beat down. Gets kicked by my character. His shield goes flying. Fuck you, Sturgian noble. And another glorious victory for this ragtag fucking bandit army. It's so fucking fun. If you guys haven't done like a bandit playthrough, or at least like a side series like I'm doing, I would encourage it. I would strongly encourage it. It forces you to use tactics because, of course, you have an inferior army. I can't even participate here. We just have to send troops or leave. We'll just send troops here while I get my spiel on here. I think I'll wrap this episode up. It's fun, right? It's tactics. You're forced to run around with this ragtag group of guys wearing fucking cloth armor and throwing petrified turds at the enemy. You're forced to be resourceful. You're forced to look at the landscape differently because you no longer can just rely on the tactics that you've done over and over again. Now, if you're pulling off kill boxes like we did in this episode here, in fact, that was essentially 3 of them, although that last one was a pretty sloppy one with so many heavy cav, then I congratulate you, right? If you're doing kill boxes regularly, you're a pretty advanced player, right? I've got thousands of hours at the game. That's why I can pull that off. I'm sure there are other guys out there. No, you don't need to use the RTS mod. The guys saying that are just knuckleheads. But I can assure you, But playing with bandits is a lot of fun. Plus, there's a little role-playing element of it too, right? Who doesn't like to see these armored nobles with their pompous names, the Count Baron of something or other? Fucking fuck you. We unseat their asses and then beat them down with our sickle and our farm tools. So, you know what? We're going to have one more battle for this episode. I'm probably going to split this up. I'm going to run to Varcheg again. We're going to load up on bandits. I hope they don't begin the siege, because if they don't, we're coming back. We're coming back for that Battanian force. I want a huge challenge in this episode, or in this series, and this would be it, right? Almost 1,000 Battanians.
All right, well, we grabbed every single troop we could from Varcheg, and we're going to head back. It still looks like they're trying to starve out the garrison here at Cranirog. We're hemorrhaging troops, but I'm willing to accept that. I loaded a huge amount of bandits and looters into our force here. We're actually moving slowly because we're encumbered by having too many troops. You can see we have 518 troops, right? You can get a glance of them. Now, a lot of these guys are injured. I probably should have left the injured guys. We would move faster. But now we have 108 force bandits, right? We're ready for battle here. We're going to be badly outnumbered. Apologize for that music setting. But we're going to give this a shot. No guts, no glory. Outnumbered 2-1. Half our army is looters. The other half is sea raiders and brigands and forest bandits, bootleggers and whatnot. We're going to give this a shot. Hopefully the garrison does not sally out, because I want this to be just our force. Look at this motley crew. Now we have our companions still. Of course, we're not fully healed, right? It's been battle after battle after battle in this series. And I'm going to do some upgrades here. Now, I don't want to upgrade to real troops, right? So no Harami here, but we are going to get some Sea Raiders and Bedouin Rangers, Rovers, and whatnot. We can recruit some prisoners. How beautiful is that, right? We get a Sea Raider boss. A few more looters here. We don't want to destroy our morale, because these guys will rout. Zuvan is like 2/3 health, which is probably going to be untenable, wearing a potato sack over his head. But I have an idea for that. Now, there's 240 in the garrison. I just kind of got to hope that they don't engage here, right? This is one of those situations where if they engage, it is what it is. I don't want real troops engaging. Oh, they didn't. That's perfect. So look how badly outnumbered we are. Even the Battanian king, Arlek, is here. They don't have the strongest force I've ever seen, but it's still a very potent real army, and we have a whole bunch of forest bandits. Now, I could lower the damage, but I got an idea. We're going to do a little camouflage here, a little subterfuge. We're not going to put on Zuvan's elite armor, but here, this is perfect. Fine Brigadan over. Look, it's almost like a magic trick. He almost looks the same, and then I don't have to lower the player damage, and Zuvan has a good chance of surviving at least most of this battle. Of course, he still has rags over his head, so I got to watch the headshots. But let's do this shit, right? Let's fucking attack this force of almost 1,000 Battanians with our looters. Now, I'm trained now. My eye is definitely trained to pick up these terrain advantages. We can do peekaboo ridges over each of these. What we can do is set our units up on this top area here, pound the enemy with forest bandits and bushwackers as they come in, attack them from the flanks, and then as those flanks are attacking, we can beat feet down that hill and hopefully position before they can really get to us in a manner that we can divide their forces once they do start charging down the hill, and of course pound them as they come down the hill. So the 4th, 5th, and 6th will continue to be our linchpins for the army. The 1st and 3rd are just looters, right? We literally still have like 100 or so looters in our army. Maybe it's 125 that healed up for this battle. I want 2 cav wings, so I might actually use the 7th. Let's just put a handful of guys in the 7th here. I want a little bit of a guard, because they're going to have 2 huge cav wings, right? This is a real army we're facing. And again, the 1st and 3rd are very much weak units. Now, there may be some shields in there, right? Because we have upgraded quite a few Sea Raiders and whatnot into our army. And your initial wave, right? This is not our whole army. We will get reinforcements. Your initial wave is almost always your best troops, if you have that set up for, in your settings. And I think I do. I do see some looters, but it doesn't seem like our whole infantry line is looters. All right, we got some time here. They're 400 units away. Let's spread these archers out. Let's provide the welcome mat for these fucks, right? Let's get the Looter Bowl. This is the official inaugural Looter Bowl, right? We're first big battle here with our Looter army. I know I keep calling it a Looter army, and you guys are like, well, you got Force Bandits. That's true, and Force Bandits are good archers, but we still have a very raggedy army with no real troops trying to take on a force more than twice our size. Don't try this at home. Actually, absolutely try this at home. Because this has been incredibly fun, and with some tactics you at least have a shot. This is a battle we're probably going to lose. Look at the power bar, but no guts, no glory. We've won battles like this before, right? In the Peasants' Revolt, we've had some incredible victories. We got to take out these nobles. Get the fuck out of here. Conked on the head. Now you get assassinated with the throwing knife. You ain't getting away. All right, in the spine. These throwing knives are actually pretty deadly. They throw really quickly. Their range is pretty good. Of course, he has 300 plus throwing. And it's been kind of enjoyable to learn how to use them. All right, so I'm going to set up infantry wings on both sides. What we're basically going to do is this. I'm going to set up infantry wings with cav to slow down enemy cav coming towards them. These guys can be, probably shield wall these guys. We're going to pound them with arrows as they come in, and then we're going to begin to kite. Now here's the thought process I have. The enemy's going to come in with a huge vanguard, and I have to slow it down and attack it and cause some losses before we beat feet and run. So I am going to kite with the 5th and 6th here, but only so far as that they stay out of heavy melee, while the sides in squares move in towards the enemy. Once the enemy's sort of unsure who to attack, our two flanks will close in on the enemy's side, right? We're basically going to play defense until the enemy hesitates for a moment. And then we're going to collapse on them from the sides with our looter slash Sea Raider flanks. And kill some of these stragglers that are getting through. Of course, they're tier 5 units, right? Our guys are going to have a hard time taking these guys out. Run that Falksman over. Their cav is coming in. So our sides there, you know, they have to basically survive these in squares. We're going to start to peel these guys back because their main division is coming in fast. But this setup is good, right? I've got this infantry division over here. The cav is getting mauled, of course. Let's start moving our infantry in here, and what we can do is as that infantry line pulls in, we will start to position this infantry and basically shove it towards the center of their formations. Meanwhile, I'm starting to kite with the 5th and 6th. Now the 4th is on the other side of this ridge. I will probably try to pull them back to the other side of that ridge. Of course, the losses have started. This is inevitable, right? We've got guys with almost no armor fighting knights and shit like that. So the 5th and 6th here are doing good damage. Both infantry divisions are beautifully positioned. Let's start moving back towards this ridge because we're going to get ready to charge on 3 sides here. Let's get these guys right to the edge of the ridge. This infantry division, let's shove this square right onto the enemy. I can't fucking move because of the terrain here. It's very fucking difficult. And now we charge with these bitches from the side. Watch this shit. 5th and 6th are told to charge. These squares coming in from the side are basically going to be sacrificial, right? You're going to lose some troops. Look at how many enemies this is. But if we can pound them here, give them a real hard beating, and then pull back, this may be enough of a KDR for us for success. I just want these guys skirmishing. I don't want them fully engaging. Right at the edge of battle here. And I'm going to wade in here, right? Our looters are fighting for their lives. We're going to join them. Especially since it's a video game. The 4th Corps, those guys are on the side, kind of unmolested, but I'm going to have to peel them out of here eventually. They're not going to be able to fight in this battle. Fuck you. Blasting our way through these battalions. The looters are starting to die en masse. That's okay. Alright, let's peel these guys downhill now. Those divisions, you know, they're sacrificial, right? We will put something nice on the tombstones of those looters. They did their job nicely there. They pinned the enemy in place. They're still dying, of course, but they're slowing the enemy down, right? They're keeping them occupied while we start to kite. The 4th Division, I mean, I told it to retreat. I don't know if it's going to retreat where I want to. I'm probably going to have to fetch them manually. But look at this. The enemy is now at the top of the hill. We're at the bottom, and we have ranged units, right? We're going to be able to split our forces as we come down this hill and kite them further. And, of course, on the way down, they're getting absolutely raked by reverse slope decline defense. I mean, we still have a lot of work to do, but we have reinforcements coming, right? I don't know where they're going to come from. Of course, that's always a concern. And now what I'm trying to do is triangulate this 4th Corps down here. I think I'm going to babysit these guys because I need these 50 guys. These 56 archers and skirmishers here, we're going to peel them down the other side of this ridge and hopefully rendezvous them with the other side, right? I speak French. En français, s'il vous plaît. We're going to rendezvous with the rest of our units here. God damn it, these fucking ridges, I like can't move sometimes. But it's working, right? The enemy's now starting to peel over this ridge. The 4th Corps is going to come down and meet us. Fuck, they're already on our infantry. Let's peel back in different directions here. That way the enemy is sort of forced to split. Their cavalry remains a problem, but, you know, we've done major damage to them so far, and the death spam is still highly green, right? The enemy's splitting. That's not terrific for us. Where's this fucking 4th Division? You guys need to get the fuck down here. We need troops badly. Get over here. And now it's time for heavy blows, right? Now we're going to have to fight for our lives here. We're doing excellent death spray with just arrows. The force bandits are fucking earning their bread right here. Of course, I realize I'm fighting like a knight on horse. I'll be joining them on foot at some point, but right now I'm just trying to make sure that we have a good sort of press in here before I join my men. God, it's a massacre. I mean, I'm seeing a huge green death spam here. It's fucking time to wade in on these bitches. Let's support them. Of course, they can take the brunt of the damage. I will wade in from behind here and just cut this Battanian force, pound them to fucking shreds. God, this hammer is deadly. I mean, just tier 6 units being fucking ragdolled. You stab me, motherfucker? Get out of here. Okay, so they're starting to send archers down and reinforcements. We need to reposition for these guys here. I've got a few arrows left. The 6th, we can continue to spread out. I gotta take cover here. I'm already at half health. Fuck, they're sending knights. Hold on there, boys. Put that wooden shield up. Let's get these guys tightened up here in a square. These cavalry are coming in slowly, I think, because they're holding their shield up. Very bad decision, right? We're going to pound these guys off their horses. There's 2 or 3 lords in here. Kill her. Attack. Charge. Pounded by looters. I got to watch out for a spear here. Here's another noble. She wants to die too. Let me get back on a horse. I help chase down these nobles. Let's spread these units out again. What do we got going on here? They've got archers coming over the ridge and infantry, cavalry sort of skirmishing. We're still spraying our arrows all over the place. Okay, they have some elite archers there. Not on our watch. Those fucking crossbow and Battanian units here. Battanian Fiend Champ. Fuck you. Let's truck this guy. Down you go. He rolls down the hill. Master Archer, eat shit. Okay, they're coming over the ridge right into this fucking enfilade fire, and it's just 60-70% of our troops are archers. Now let's give them a square here. That's archers. God damn it, it split the wrong division. All right, let's send the 5th up. A lot of these guys, actually the whole division's out of ammo, so we're going to use them as a square. We'll pull that other division back. The 4th still has lots of ammo. Oh, you know why? Because they're on the other side of the ridge. I know I'm talking fast here. I'm trying to fucking pull off this miracle. All right, send that square up. That's mostly shields. Those guys should be okay. And let's continue to split these 2 divisions. Let's pull the 6th all the way over and have the 4th basically on this side. Here's another noble that needs to be fucking knocked off her horse. Get the stabbing our units, you fucking bitch. Erda, eat shit. All right, the square is going to do a good job absorbing attention. Now here, let's do this with the square. Let's pull it away from our units. That way our units can shoot the enemy in the back while they're chasing our square. We'll put that 4th exactly opposite of that square. The 6th is kind of in the path of the enemy, but that's okay. That square is going to absorb a lot of attention. Is this... So there's still archery play over here. They got some skirmishers coming in here. But this is... The left side's okay. I can't tell if we got reinforcements. I think we got reinforcements there. It's been such a frantic battle, right? When you try to pull off a victory in an incredibly difficult battle like this, especially trying to narrate for you fellas, it gets very difficult for me to do all this coherently and keep some army cohesion, right? We're going to do the best we can here. 1,000 javelins are raining down on these force bandits. They're getting fucking raked. The square's doing a good job, though. I'm just moving it and slowly pulling it away from the enemy, and they're suffering losses, but it's slow. I think this fucking battle is ours. We're gonna have to bore in here a little bit. There's still lots of enemy troops left, so let's start sending in units that are out of ammo, right? Charge. He's like trying to shoot that guy point blank. It's time for me to fucking get in here too. Look at this shit. It's just fucking juicy troops to attack. They're killing our square, but that's alright, right? Those guys are taking one for the team. Give them hell. Let's join them on foot here, right? This is just begging for my hammer. That's it. The enemy, this is it. This fucking battle is over. Yeah, baby. Crush them, looters. Let's smash our way through these fucking Battanians. Bring a real army next time. You guys need some looters on your side. Just smash. Killing all their fucking nobles. Oh shit, I think that's their king. Hold fire, everybody. That guy's mine. That's the Battanian king, I think. Arlek. I need some of those turds. We need a javelin. I don't see... here we go. I got a javelin for this guy. I haven't been using javelins, of course. We've been using throwing knives. Let's see if I can't fucking take out their king with a javelin. Come on, Arlek. Come get some. Just takes a header. Fucking beautiful. For some reason, the battle's not over. There must be another troop out here. Maybe this is his lieutenant. Charge this bitch. You know what I want to do is I want to give these looters the opportunity to fucking get their revenge, right? All these nobles that like cut their hand off because they invaded their fucking deer parks. Let's take this guy out. Let's disable him, take his horse out, and let the looters finish him. Fucking dropped his horse. He fell right into the midst of looters. Oh shit! They fucking beheaded the dude. That's his head for sure. I will definitely slow-mo that when I do a little editing. That was epic. You don't want to fuck with these looters here. I don't know who used what weapon, but they beheaded a fucking plated knight. These are some savage motherfuckers right here. And they have their revenge, right? What a perfect end to this battle. We win against a huge Battanian force. We take out their king. The king gets a javelin and the spear in the spleen. And then the looters get their revenge by beheading his that was like his bailiff, right? His second in command. The looters behead the guy. That was sick. Green-faced looters and shit. This Halloween costume. This series has been a blast. You guys can see why the Peasant Revolt was so fun for me. The Peasants Revolt, we actually had some real troops here. This is purely bandits and Bedouin rovers and brigands and shit like that. And we didn't just win, we crushed. Here's another stroke face gal. We crushed a large Battanian force using tactics. Now the force bandits, admittedly, come with us, High King Arlek. In fact, we've got to have a little discussion later on. But the force bandits are savage units, right? Anybody who's like, well, don't use force bandits next time, I don't think you win, right? You've got to have some kind of firepower, and you can only throw so many petrified turds at the enemy before your force is defeated. All right, Arlek, we would like you to come stand over here. Yep, don't move, please. Arlek takes one for the fucking Battanians. Down he goes, and we're gonna wrap up this little fantasy here, right? This has been a fun little fantasy. If you guys love this, look at, I gained the deceitful trait, or no, devious trait. If you guys love this shit, what's this shit? A marriage fucking offer. Yeah, I don't think we're going to marry our elite warrior 325 bow skill gal to this Lord Farquhar looking motherfucker wearing a skirt, wearing a fucking teal skirt with his gauntlets. Decline. If you guys enjoyed this series and you want to see, more of the Peasant Revolt or more of these sort of looter battles, admittedly, again, we have forest bandits, we have 55 Sea Raider chiefs, right? This is actually a strong army. Now, if you want to see me fuck around with this a little bit more, let me know in the comments, right? Let me know what you guys think. If you guys enjoyed it, please hit that like button. I appreciate it. Of course, you want to subscribe if you want to see more material here from Tactical Enlightenment. That was a lot of fun for me, and I would pretty happily do a few more episodes in this series or try something else like it. So again, I appreciate you fellas. Please hit that like button. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next time.